Okay, so how's everybody doing? So this is going to be an update on River Road. This is a summer update. And for those of you that aren't aware, I've sort of taken a break from the layout. I'm building another diorama that I'm getting close to finishing. And it's been nice because I've been able to leave the camera off of River Road, like stop for a while, get rest, mental rest, content creation rest from this layout as much as I love it. And I have no plans at all of quitting, even though people quit on me. But I had no plans of doing that. You have to manage yourself in this game, otherwise you're done. I mean, I don't charge for membership like some people do, like some channels do. Like, I've never done that. And I have over 600 videos on my channel, and I would say 500 of them are very good quality. And they're free to view. Like, so, you know, like if there's people out there that left, like they told me they left. Well, you're welcome back if you want, but like, it's my channel and I have to manage my health or nobody gets content, you know? Jeez, man. You know, anyway, I've been looking at the layout lately and I've rearranged this scene and I want to show some photos of it because somebody made a comment. Like, I love the comments that people make on Boomer Diorama. I listen to them all, I read them all, and I answer them all. But it was in regards to the diner, and someone had said you should turn it around. And I did, and it blew my mind. But I'll talk about that in a second. But I want to tell you what I'm doing here. So these are these signals, right, that are now owned by Atlas. But the original designer and builder of these was, sorry for the glare there, BLMA model Searchlight block signal. Well, they're the same, but they're just owned by Atlas now, and they push their signal system. I like their signal system. Some people don't. I think it's good for small shelf layouts, but that's just me, right? I have it in place and building it in, and I can unplug, plug. I can run CTC. I can run ABS, automation, interlocking, etc. So I think it's a great system once you're plugged into it and everything's working. So I really like these signals. Like, there isn't a lot of signals on SRY, but there are a few, and they look more like this than they do these big silver ones. And these are the closest thing I can get to sort of a Canadian style one, unless I build showcase miniatures. But right now, with you know what going on, everything, I'm not ordering anything across the border, and I don't want to build signals right now. I have too many other things I want to build, and I actually quite like these. Like, these have the ABS box on them. They're a little bit older. Like, I like to, like, SRY is an older short line, even though it's still running today, and I like to harken back a little bit. And I find that the older you get and the more you work on your railroad, like one you're dedicated with, you sort of make changes as you go, as I did with the diner, which I'll show you. But I want to show you how I remove this. And this is a really good argument because this ballasting and foundation is being held in place with matte medium and ballast. And I want to show you the method to my madness, why I use it, and how I can remove this without destroying the layout and replace it with a new signal, like this one here, okay? Okay, so I have some 99% IPA, isopropyl alcohol, in this little syringe I got from the pharmacy. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently and carefully bleed in straight IPA into this ballast foundation. All I want to do is reactivate the matte medium, and that's what this will do. You just got to be patient with it and careful. You don't want to saturate everything. And it takes a little bit. You can do this with turnouts as well. This little power box or battery box I glued in as well, but I probably won't need to remove that. The signal that I'm putting in here is a little bit older. It sort of has its own battery box built in, but it doesn't matter. Right? You know, you see that kind of thing all the time. So it takes a few applications like this before you can start. See there, it's already, see that? It's already coming off. Okay, well, I'll just stay with it here just so you can see the whole process. So I really love this syringe method for this, except you got to be careful though too that it doesn't, you know how when you push and it just plunges and then you end up flooding the whole shooting match here. So I'm going to move this signal down to the next block on section 3. So I do have plans for it. Oh wow, that came up easy. Look at that. See that? There you go. So that, I just need to unplug it and then drop the other one in and then reballast a little bit and she's good to go. Okay, so I made sure the wires down below were snugged up. Notice how I put a little bit of Tamiya tape around where the magnet wire joins the plug wire. You can buy these do-it-yourself plug wires for the older signals or any other signal for that matter. The nice thing about the Atlas versions is they come with plugs on them. Oh, and I should mention that Intercity Trains and Hobbies sells these. They got quite a few of them. And if you're interested in one, you better think about getting one because there's not a lot of them. Like, you know, they're rare, like becoming rare. They have, like, this is a nice signal too. I really like this. Like I added the little restriction placard on there just with a piece of evergreen plastic. I just glued with a touch of super glue and then wicked in matte medium to secure it for good. Painted it yellow and put a little R decal from Microscale Decals. And I'm going to move this down to the next block, down by section 3 by Milner. That's where this one's going to go. And then I might have one facing this way, so there'll be 3. But you need a board for each signal head, and you notice there's 2 plugs, okay, right? One for upper, lower. So that's still a really nice signal, and I'm going to use that one. Now this one here was the one I really want this look here. Like this whole scene in here is really, you know, it's funny with model railroads, like they take a long time to like evolve, like to get like the look that you want. Like you get this idea in your head, okay, and you're thinking, oh, this will be really cool, you know, when I get it like this. But they take years sometimes, you know, to develop. Like the scene, so where you finally go, that's it. That's what I saw in my mind's eye. That's the look that I always wanted, you know. And this signal was, like I had another one, but it had no plug on it, but these came out. Like I say, if you want one, you better grab one from Intercity Trains and Hobbies because there's only probably half a dozen left, if that, of these. And you can get, like they support the whole system. You can get the boards and everything. So you can see, like I'm going to clean this old ballast up here, but actually, you know, I can just re-soak this in matte medium and it'll just reactivate fine. You can see I added a little plastic plate, evergreen 60 thou, just glued to the bottom, just to act as a foundation plate. So that'll go in there like that. I'll just pin that up and mount that. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I like that. I like the black and white because this, like there's a signal like this, but it's a 3-way at the Ralston Crescent Junction where SRY leaves, well, it branches off to go to Chilliwack. I just wanted to capture the feel of that signal and the look of it and everything. So that'll look really good, and then I'll set that in with a bit of ballast, just like ballasting track, and then drip in with an eyedropper a little bit of matte medium and she should be good. Okay. You can see I'm just flooding in a bead of pure matte medium. This will shrink back and it'll be flat, transparent. And then I can move this for hours afterwards. I can actually bend it into position for probably tomorrow morning too. It'll be good to go. And then, of course, after like a month, it's really rigid. But and once again, it's easy to remove. So that'll actually grow like in a few hours. Like if it's warm, that'll be solid enough that I can ballast it. No problem. Okay. Okay, so here's the next morning. You can see how rigid that is. Like it's really strong, but I can still move it. Right? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of this sifted limestone that I like to use for ballast. A bit of tight quarters here, so please excuse my hand a bit. So I'm just going to drop in a little bit over top, a little bit over top of the foundation. I'll just move that out of the way, and then I'll grab a little brush. I find with matte medium, like it says not to thin it below 25%, like 25% matte medium to 75% water, just the max. But I've actually tested it with 95% water and just a dribble, like 5%, maybe 10 of matte medium, and it still holds really well. Matte medium is a binder, it's not a paint, it's an acrylic binder made for acrylic paint. You know, designed for canvas painters, but I believe it was Francois Verlinden, well, during the Shepherd Pain Francois Verlinden era, where they were using it for terrain, to seal their terrain, because it was a beautiful binder and had a matte, transparent finish if used properly. Like the thinner the better, really, like whatever you can get away with. So I got a little bit of water in the spritzer bottle here with a little pinch of IPA. So this is a pre-soak. So what this does is it just pre-soaks, pardon my hand, it just pre-soaks the ballast so that when you eyedropper in right here, which I've already mixed 50-50, I just, a bit of water and I just look and drop the matte medium into it and just stir it with a paintbrush, grab it like this in an eyedropper, and I'm just gonna drop in just a few drops will do it. Sorry for my hand in the way there. And this is good to go now. Like that'll dry nice and flat. You can weather that with pastels or a wash or whatever. And then what I'm going to do is once this is all dry, I'm going to put an umber wash on this. I believe it's a battery box, or it's probably where all the relays are for the ABS system. But I'm just going to weather that down. But I want to make sure I weather it with the same colors as the ballast or ground area around here. Okay, so that's good to go. And now what I want to do is, we'll look at those lights in closing, but I just want to show you the diner and how I turned it around, how I mentioned earlier. And I'll tell you how I really love it and it makes total sense. And I want to give credit or shout out to the person that mentioned it in comments on, I think it was the video, if you go scroll back under videos, it was called The Return of the Diner, I think. And somebody made a really neat comment. Hey man, why don't you just turn the building around? I mean, I can still see inside the front from the further down from section 3, and it just makes sense. It makes the street a street, you know, with a diner tucked away. And I have more, because of this, now I have way more parking space, which is what I wanted. It was a bit crowded. Here's the old, here's another ABS box. Sorry, let me just move my hand. Here's this one would have probably been 80s, or actually 70s probably, or 80s carryover. Whereas this one, battery wash, was probably 60s, a decade before. Yeah, that looks cool. I really like that. And I'll weather that down and it should play the part pretty good. Okay, how's everybody doing? So let's just have a look at the diner enclosing here. So you can see the signal, the top aspect is flashing amber and the lower one's red. Just need to weather down that, the base cabinet there. Once that's all set, the matte medium and everything. So, like a few episodes back under videos, if you go to the home page and scroll backwards, you'll see I did an episode called Return to the Diner, and I showed off the diner. A lot of people requested it. They really liked it, and I always had trouble trying to find a place for it on the layout. It looked kind of whimsical. Like, it's cool. It like fits the scene in the modern age because it can be an Art Deco restored restaurant, which was the idea, but it would never have been facing outward towards the tracks. And the reason why I say that is because somebody left a comment on that episode, Return to the Diner, that was so great. Like they said, have you tried turning the diner around? And I never did. So I got to give credit where credit is due. Whoever you are, you commented about it, and that's what I did. I did it yesterday, and it blew my mind. Like it totally made sense. Because when I walk the railroads around here, around my area, like that's what it looks like. They don't face a diner out onto the tracks. I mean, there are exceptions, I get that. But in this case, everything made sense. So now it's an actual street back there. I have more parking lot space on the right of it, and where the old Cadillac is there, it sort of angles outwards. So it's really cool, and when you view it, when you lean in from section 3 a little bit, you can still see inside the diner where the people are. And at night, it just looks so awesome, like the light bouncing off the back wall and the kitchen lights at the back where all the garbage cans are. It just totally makes sense. Like, I don't know why, like it took me like 3 years to figure that out, but you know how it is with model railroading. This is the way it is. The scenes are always evolving, okay? And I just moved the overpass out of the way, but that's all done too. I'm going to put that back in. And I have plans now, and I mentioned it before, but I'm closing up on a few other projects and doing some weathering and some locomotives. So getting stuff ready when I plug back into River Road here. So thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. Happy modeling, and I hope that you have a great day.